4th leap day, I think. 2012. That's so many leap days. I've been doing this a long time. That's too many. I'm pretty sure every leap day I've done a song about leap day, so I should probably do a song about leap day today, but it's probably just going to be about crypto. Here he is.
Thank you for having me here. I'm really excited to be here at Denver again. The journey of Meta Labs actually started at Denver. That was when we had our first conversations before even founding the company. Okay, so you can see the screen. So I'm going to talk about one of the hottest topics of this year. I hope you are all as excited about it as I am. That is going to be ZK, and we're going to talk why ZK is the endgame for blockchains. So this year, Ethereum is turning 9 years old. And do you know, or maybe remember, how the web looked like when it was 9 years old? It was scammy, cumbersome to use, and pretty slow. You maybe remember this sound of the modem. So, does this sound familiar? Good. All of that gradually improved. And we got to the place where we are today with convenience, with the UX, speed, all of that. But there was one particular transformative invention that was necessary to move our lives online. And that was, to explain what that was, like you have to think about the internet, like what is the internet? It's a network of many servers. It cannot run on a single server, right? It's a collection of a large number of heterogeneous systems owned, operated, and maintained by completely different people who do not trust each other, do not know each other, cannot verify each other's, credentials, whatever, like different countries, all that. And to interoperate, those systems needed to rely on integrity of communication. This is very important, integrity of communication, right? So like when I send a message from like an email from Europe to the US, or like from Europe to Japan, it will be routed through many servers and routers on the way, through Russia, through like Eastern Europe, through Asia and so on. But I don't have to trust those people. I should not have to worry that like any of them can intercept this email and replace it with something else and kind of like give themselves for me. So you need this integrity of communication, like holistic, not uncorruptedness, if you want. And it came with HTTPS, as TLS, SSL, whatever you call it, right? The encryption standard, which provided privacy, but more importantly, it provided this authenticity. That point-to-point communication, any system can basically talk to each other and decide who they want to trust and not be like forced into some trust assumptions. Coming back to Web3, today it's quite unsafe. You can lose all your money by doing one wrong click. It's very inconvenient for most people. It's still pretty slow, but all of that is improving. What is really important is, just like the internet cannot run on a single server, this new internet of value, the Web3, cannot run on a single monolithic system. I think it should be obvious. Like, just like from the physical perspective, like you cannot, you don't run all of the websites on one single, like even on one single data center. And you should not care about the data, the state of everyone else, right? Like, should be a collection of completely decentralized systems that are owned and operated by different entities, different communities, with different degrees of trust to each other. All of that must be completely distributed. But then we run into a problem, because imagine this perfect multi-chain world. Like, how should it look like? It would be something like, you have thousands of permissionless chains. Anyone can deploy their own chain. Anyone can launch their community. Maybe a token, maybe something like centralized, maybe integrated with the real-world systems, whatever. And any user of any of those chains should be able to interact with any other user, any other application, any other smart contract on any of those. Right? On the internet, you're not like, if you have a Gmail account, it doesn't mean that you can only browse Google, right? You can browse anything. You can connect to any system. You can just send email to anyone else on any other domain, not bound to your own ecosystem. The same should be true here, and should be very convenient and very fast, like basically one click, 1 cent, 1 second, any interaction happens. The problem is, if you approach it in a naive way, you will not either have trustlessness or scalability. Because like if you want trustlessness, it would mean you have to opt into don't trust verify maxima, which we all know from Bitcoin, and which still holds. But what does it mean? Like, can you, from like you as a user, can you verify all of the millions of transactions on all the servers everywhere? Like, you know, all the millions, billions of people who transact, like in China, in Southeast Asia, in Latam, US, Europe, everywhere. Like, you should not be like verifying all of that. You shouldn't be caring of their state. You should not even know what they're doing there, right? But how do you then get to trustlessness? How do you extend this trust? How do we get to this TLS, HTTPS, SSL moment? And we need a transformative innovation once again, which is the ZK. Because ZK, zero knowledge proofs, or better to call them like proofs of computational integrity, are the cryptographic primitives and protocols that enable integrity of computation. Just like SSL enabled integrity of communication, for blockchains it's not enough. Because we're not just skating, they're not just talking to each other, they're sending value. This value is programmatic money. It's like, it's state, it's computable, it's a global computer, a distributed global computer. So you need to prove this integrity of computation. And today, this is only possible with zero knowledge proofs, and it's possible at arbitrary scale. So if EVM today is the HTTP of the Web3, DZK is the HTTPS of Web3. How exactly it will enable limitless, infinite scalability? Through recursion. This is, like most of your developers here are familiar with this concept. ZK technologies, like ZK protocols today we reached the maturity a couple of years ago where we can recursively verify other proofs. What this means is, let's start with a simple transaction. It's a small piece of computation. We can generate a zero knowledge proofs that gives you like 1 kilobyte of data, which you can easily check and be sure that like, okay, it was computed correctly. You don't have to re-verify the execution itself. Now we can take many transactions, we generate the proofs of them, we recursively combine them. Then, I mean, you can do it at one step in a limited number of proofs combined together, but you can repeat this process recursively as long as you want. And so you get the proof of proofs, until you get one final proof which testifies of the integrity of like arbitrary amount of computation transactions data. And then you pack it in a block, then you have a proof of a block, and then you have blocks from many different chains that you can aggregate together in recursive proof, and then you repeat this process until you get one single proof which verifies them all and can attest to the integrity of computations of like all transactions in the world without them having to trust each other, to cooperate, to you know, like arrange things. Then you put it on Ethereum, the most decentralized, the most secure, the most resilient settlement layer in the world. The Ethereum verifies it, you have your state now settled on a smart contract. And then we can do one more magical step. We can generate the proof of Ethereum block itself. This is already feasible. Like last year's breakthroughs made this feasible. We're getting there. And then you take this proof and you send it to a smartphone. And you turn like basically every mobile wallet of Ethereum into a full node of Ethereum. We're going from 100,000 nodes to like 1 billion nodes. Like every single telephone will be verifying Ethereum blocks and guaranteeing the integrity of correctness of all blocks from Genesis. And from not only for all blocks from Ethereum, all the blocks of all these chains that settle on Ethereum. That can have a seamless, trustless, cheap, fast interoperability between each other. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call the ZK singularity. One single proof to rule them all. And this is happening this year. 2024 is going to be the year of ZK. Like all of that, all what I described is going to become reality. And now it's time to build in ZK. And I invite you to participate in the ZK Quest. Check out the booth. You can. It's pretty fun and it has guaranteed pretty cool rewards with swag and with some ETH. Try it out and thank you.
Thank you, Alex. How's everybody doing? Is everybody feeling okay? Yeah, I know. We're doing this. We're about halfway through. We got Russell coming on right now to talk about buffer core invention.